Hey, everybody, welcome to Ethos After Dark. Rick Kamla and I are here despite lots of technical difficulties. My voice is somewhat working right now. That's a good thing. Rick, how are you doing?
We're overcoming adversity over here. My internet went out. It hasn't gone out in a long time, and today, poof, called Frontier, and they couldn't fix it over the phone. So somebody's coming out tomorrow. But I'm racking up some cellular data extra points here to make this come to fruition. But I don't have my usual setup with my notes and my computer and all that. So Doc is going to be on the ones tonight. And so he's going to be, you're going to be Joe Buck. I'm going to be Troy Aikman here tonight. We're going to switch roles, and I'm excited for this, man. This is going to be fun.
Hopefully you can turn those cellular minutes and charges into some like free airfare or something. Maybe this can be like miles. You can rack up some miles tonight. But busy night in the association. Rick doesn't have a computer. He's just going off of handwritten notes. I'm in charge. Before we get into all that, we're going to talk about BetOnline. BetOnline continues to be the world's most trusted betting platform and your number one source for online betting. From the earliest odds to in-game live betting, BetOnline provides you with all the action and the ability to watch the games as they happen, which I actually did not watch many games tonight. I was hosting trivia, but with the largest selection of odds on everything from football, the NBA, college basketball, NHL, UFC. 4 years from now, when we have another election, you can bet on that. Head to BetOnline today. Don't forget to use promo code BELIEVE, BLEAV. They spell believe like I spell Dr. A. It's kind of weird, but it works. For your welcome bonus on your first deposit, BetOnline. The game starts here. Are we ready to roll, Rick?
Well done, dude. Well done. We're ready to roll, man. Let's go. Let's dive into this 8-game slate. Where's the question? What are we doing here? What are we doing here first?
I don't think we're doing questions today. Yeah, that's something else. Because of all the technical issues we're having, we're skipping questions again tonight. But I told our illustrious producer, Andre Lamoche, that answering questions is my favorite part of the show. So we're going to make sure we do that as soon as possible. Like, we're going to get to them, just maybe not tonight. Rick, I watched that football game. The Pistons beat the Packers, ran on the clock, ran a controversial play, 4th down and inches with only like 30 seconds left. They got the first down, ran the clock out, kicked the ball. Nobody here cares about football. Let's get to hoops. I'm just going to go in order of what's on my screen. So we're going to start in Washington, where the Dallas Mavericks destroyed the Wizards 137-101. Kyrie Irving had 25 points. Luka Doncic, a triple-double, 21, 10, and 10, 2 steals, a block, 3 triples. For Washington, holy Marvin Bagley out of nowhere. He's played like 2 minutes every game all year. For some reason, he played 24 minutes. He scored 16 points with 8 boards. I'm not buying that. It's just interesting. If it becomes a trend, it's something to look at. Bub Carrington, our guy, had 15 points off the bench, 28 minutes. It's just not a lot going on here. What do you think, Rick?
There's not a ton going on here. Malcolm Brogdon, Doc, had a knee issue coming into the game. He played through it, and then he picked up a left hamstring situation tonight. Left hamstring tightness, didn't return to the game. So Bub Carrington is going to be a nice thing here, because I'm kind of bracing for Brogdon to miss some games. He's a game misser, and he now has basically 2 injuries. Okay, so I think Bub is going to make another ascent here, and it may be short lived, but I think there's going to be a little bit of a Bub pop in Washington. Pardon me, you mentioned Bagley, Doc, out of nowhere, like he lives, right? Oh my God, 16-8, decent stat line. But we talked last night about what I'd be watching here, and it was Klay Thompson versus Quentin Grimes versus Spencer Dinwiddie, and let's even throw Jaden Hardy in there, okay? I believe they all played in the 20s in minutes, like 20, 21, 22, stuff like that. Klay had 11, Dinwiddie had 12, Grimes had 14, Hardy had 13. We talked last night, Doc, and so I won't belabor the point. Like, Klay Thompson is in the rotational soup with the Dallas Mavericks, and if he's getting lit up on defense and like 2 of 7 in the first half, like, I think playing time is going to be taken away from him by Coach Kidd. So you were like, dude, he's just a waiver wire player, and we've had this conversation really kind of ongoing all week, Doc, but this was another dud fantasy line from Klay Thompson. And, like, it feels really, really weird to say this, but guys, if you want to send Klay Thompson to waivers, you can. He's basically a big name Malik Beasley or Tim Hardaway Jr. right now. So, like a healthy Luke Kennard playing 28 minutes where you get some points and you get threes and you get nothing else. But that's what I got on that one, man.
All right, let's move on. Let's move on to Cleveland Nuggets, the game of the night at Cleveland. The Cleveland Cavaliers defeated the Denver Nuggets 126-114. I'm going to bury the lead and start in Cleveland, which was just more of the same, right? Donovan Mitchell, 28 points, 6 assists. Darius Garland, 24 points. Evan Mobley, 20 points. Jared Allen, 15 boards. I think the news in Cleveland was Karis LeVert scored 21 points with 6 assists and 5 triples. Now, Karis LeVert's available in a lot of leagues. I think he's worth having around on a roster. Ty Jerome's a little banged up, quiet tonight. Ty Jerome has cooled off. It may be Karis LeVert time. And Rick, I'm going to go ahead and jump to Denver real quick, and then you can just let it all out. But Nikola Jokic, I bet Nikola Jokic would have a triple-double tonight. Nikola Jokic had 27 points, 20 rebounds, 11 dimes, 3 steals, no 3-pointers. Jokic, come on, bro. What are you doing? I don't care. 27, 20, and 11. Are you kidding me? Just awesome stat line. Solid performance by Denver. They hung in there. But Cleveland's that good, man. It's going to be Cleveland, Boston, and New York in the East. Like, those are the teams.
Doc, let's have a Cleveland conversation here. This is a really dangerous basketball team. They are 20-3, dude. 20-3. That's an oh my God record. And they really handled Denver tonight. Jokic was incredible. Aaron Gordon was really good. Michael Porter Jr. had a phenomenal game. Christian Brown was a little, like, just kind of average tonight. And Jamal Murray wasn't great tonight. And their bench didn't play a whole lot. The minutes for Strother and Westbrook and Watson were, like, in the teens, right? But Denver's guys, they didn't make 3 balls tonight. Denver was 6-24 from 3, obviously a huge part of this game. But Denver had, like 3 main dudes activated. They still got beat by double digits, okay? And so, dude, Cleveland's incredibly scary. You got to look, I'm a JB Bickerstaff guy, Doc, but you got to give Kenny Atkinson a ton of credit, man. Like, he has come in and he's like turned the wrenches a little bit, turn the screwdriver a little bit, do it with a hammer a little bit. And he's just kind of like tweaks stuff, right? Because they still have basically the same team. Boom, they win every damn game. They're really dangerous, Doc. Like, will they beat Boston? I'd bet against that, okay? But what if Cleveland and New York met in the second round of the Eastern Conference playoffs, to your point? Because those are elite teams that you were talking about right there. Doc, couple of things. Evan Mobley, was a goodie guy tonight, and I love it. He had 3 steals and 3 threes. Dude, like, Evan Mobley had 3 threes, right? We got to, like, stop the music here for a second and admire that. And Doc, Peyton Watson, I think, officially can now be sent back to waivers. In the I think Gordon's been back now for 3 games. But he's been in this team minutes in those 2 games, and the stat lines have been very light. So, yeah, I'm okay if you were hanging on to Peyton Watson to see, how the whole thing vets. Like I said, it's the 2-game rule. Guy comes back. I want to see how Quentin Grimes does with Kyrie Irving and Luka Doncic before I just cut him, because he's been putting up some good lines. Jared McCain falls into this category as well. Peyton Watson was doing things without Aaron Gordon, but AG is back, and so send Peyton Watson to waivers.
You mentioned that Christian Brown was just average, which is French for average in my estimation. He's been average for 3 games in a row, like 11 points, 11 points, 10 points, no threes. He hasn't hit a 3 in 3 straight games. Like, that dude has become unreliable. And I'm not really ready to, like, go out and drop Christian Brown, but I don't like what's been happening. And I don't really have an answer for it, because he's playing 38 minutes a game over the last 3. So he's just not getting shots. It's all Jokic. It's all Michael Porter. It's all Jamal Murray. So I think Christian Brown is eventually going to snap out of this and bounce back. But it's a little concerning that he's been so quiet for 3 straight games.
I just think it's a slump. I understand your concern. Well, I'll keep my eye on it. I just think it's a slump, because, like you said, the minutes are going to be there. What he play 39 minutes tonight, right? So I'm going to hang in there with Christian Brown. I'm not pushing the panic button yet.
All right, let's move on to Charlotte and the Knicks. The Knicks destroyed them 125-101. Our guy Brandon Miller had 26. Vasilij Micic had 14 points, 12 dimes. I don't know why he doesn't do that when I roll with him in DFS, but he hates me, and he keeps screwing me over. Hey, Mark Williams, 11 minutes, 6 points, 5 rebounds, 0 blocks, whatever. No, thank you. I'm out. I'm not messing with it. Nick Richards was quiet as well. I don't really care. Jonathan Hart, 18 points, 10 boards, 6 dimes. I think he had 0 points at half, or 0 boards at halftime. And I had him over 8.5 boards. Dude came through in the second half, also hit 4 triples. At 27 and 16. OG, 25 and 6. 4 steals, 2 blocks, 3 triples. OG Anunoby is a monster. Mikal Bridges, solid line. He's been solid all year. Like, this Knicks team is potent, and they're pretty fun in fantasy.
We told you about Micic, guys. He had 12 dimes tonight. Doc, 12 assist guys on the waiver wire are pretty rare. And he's not 12 assists per game, but and he's not a great fantasy gold guy, block, steals, and threes. I'll admit that. We talked about that. He's a really good assist guy, though. And I don't know. I'm a Vasilij Micic fan, and he played really well.
He's like a 57-year-old second-year player, right? Like, I think he's only 31, 32, but
no, you're right.
He's an older guy.
He is, most definitely. Our guy Tidjane Salon, Doc, went out tonight with a right ankle injury and did not return. Salon for Charlotte. I've been streaming him lately. The young fella out of France, but he didn't return tonight with a right ankle injury. I mean, my God, right? Think about Charlotte, dude. You've got Miles Bridges out, you've got LaMelo Ball out, you've got Trey Mann out, and now if Salon goes out, it's total madness. You mentioned Karl Anthony Towns, Doc. He had 2 blocks and 2 threes as well tonight. And here is something that is completely blowing my mind. Karl Anthony Towns would be higher on my MVP ballot right now than Jalen Brunson. And I can't believe I'm saying that. Karl Anthony Towns has been utterly spectacular with the New York Knicks. This stat line tonight is fat. I don't have my computer in front of me. Otherwise, I go boop, 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 and I get the Basketball Monster rating on. I bet Karl Anthony Towns is 5th or 6th on Basketball Monster right now, Doc. Just like the old Minnesota days pre-Anthony Edwards, right? He's back to that level. But if I told you a week before the season started that that a week into December, Cat would be the Knicks' best MVP representative, you would have given me a plastic cup and said, go urinate in it. We need to evaluate it, okay? But that's where we are right now, Doc, and I think it's absolutely incredible. Karl Anthony Towns is an MVP candidate.
He's 5.
He's 5 on Basketball Monster. Jalen Brunson's probably 34 off the top of my head. I don't even know what he is. I mean, Brunson's been good. I'm not mad at him, but Cat has been sensational. Like, isn't that jaw-dropping that Cat is the best Knick right now, and he's like their MVP candidate after Brunson was 5th in MVP voting last year?
I mean, it's crazy. And to Brunson's credit, he's having a great year. Tonight, Jalen Brunson took 8 shots. 8.
His minutes were down tonight, too.
He had 5 triples and 7 free throws and scored 24 points with 5 assists on 8 shots. That is efficient. Like, I just love everything about this Knicks team, man. I have them winning the East. I've got Knicks and OKC in the finals. I've got the Knicks taking out the mighty Celtics, the mighty Sixers, the mighty... Who's the other team we were talking about?
The mighty Sixers? What are you talking about?
I'm talking about before the season started. The mighty Bucks, the mighty Cleveland Cavaliers. I think the Knicks, they're so well-rounded. They're starting 5. Now, they really don't have much of a bench to speak of. But no, Thibodeau doesn't need a bench, baby. He plays all his guys 45 minutes a game, so it doesn't matter.
Dude, they should go get a Cole Anthony from Orlando. But if I were Orlando, I'm not trying to trade you Cole Anthony, right? I'm not trying to help the enemy. But, like, don't you think Cole Anthony would be good on the Knicks?
Yeah, they need something. They don't even use – Tom Thibodeau doesn't even use his bench. Like, Miles McBride played 28 minutes. Nobody else played more than Precious Achiuwa played 12.
Yeah,
everybody else played like 2 or 3. Like, it's crazy. Like, Tom Thibodeau really embraces his role as the guy that just runs guys into the grass. Like, he's like, yes, that's what I do. If you have a problem with it, come talk to me, because I don't care. This is what he does. Man, the Knicks starting 5, really fun. All right, moving on. Oklahoma City goes to Toronto, blows them out 129-92. The Oklahoma City Thunder, man, they're so freaking good. That Isaiah Hartenstein, 2 points, 16 boards, 6 assists, a steal, a block. Shai Gilgeous, 1 of 10 from 3. He still scores 30. What if he hit 6 of those? He scores 50 or 40. Oh, something. I don't know. Isaiah Joe in the starting lineup scores 16 with 4 triples. The rest of it doesn't matter. For Toronto, just more of the same. RJ Barrett, 17-11. Scotty Barnes, 12, and 8. Grady Dick played through his injury, 15, 4 triples. And Mobo, Brewski's guy, Mobo, 17 points in 23 minutes, 6 to 10 shooting. He had a 3. He had a steal. He had a block, but he only had 1 rebound. He's a power forward. That's unacceptable. But hey, we have a Mobo sighting. If you're in a deep league, that's something to monitor.
Jakob Poeltl was out tonight with an illness, and Bruno Fernando got a start for him. It's an illness. Don't worry about all that. I'm worried about Ochai Agbaji now, Doc, with Grady Dick back. You have RJ Barrett killing it. You have Scotty Barnes in there as well. And Poeltl is going to come back here. So Ochai, to me, He's probably more of a waiver wire guy than a guy you keep at the end of your bench. I think he's like, and I'm a fan, right? But it's all about minutes and role and usage rate. And to me, Doc, all of what's going on with Toronto right now, these guys coming back, has dropped him down to the streamer lane as opposed to the like end of your roster situation. So that's I don't want to like double up on a lot of stuff that you said. And just quickly a shout out to RJ Barrett, Doc. RJ 17, 11, and 2 tonight. Okay, another good stat line. RJ Barrett's been absolutely fantastic.
Yeah. Let's talk about Abaji for a second, because he's 8th round value on the season, right? 9 cat overall. The last 2 weeks, he's 10th round value overall. Still, to me, that's still worth hanging on to. But I mean, it probably all depends on Grady Dick, and if Grady Dick's going to play, and if these other guys are going to ball out. Abaji becomes more of a like luxury fantasy hold than like a must-have guy. So I kind of agree with you on that, but yeah, I'm not dropping Abaji just yet. In 12-team leagues, 10-team league, gone. You move on. Anything else you want to say about that game, sir?
No, I am. Nope. We can move on, bro.
Let's go to the Sacramento Kings visiting the Memphis Grizzlies and losing 115-110. The Kings are now 10-13. They're trying to find their way. I just wrote a risers and fallers column for ESPN where DeMar DeRozan over the last 2 weeks has been horrible. He hasn't hit a 3-pointer until tonight in like his last 4 games, maybe 8 games. He finally hit one tonight. He also hit 13 of 14 free throws, which salvaged his line. But he had 26 points, 3 rebounds, 1 assist, 1 steal. It's just not getting it done, man. And he's also like convoluted what the Kings built last year. And now we're not lighting the beam as much. And, guys are confused. Like, man, DeMar DeRozan has taken all these mid-range jumpers and kind of cluttering everything up. Second point, and then I'm going to let you talk. Malik Monk in the starting lineup again. He's been top 15 for the last 2 weeks. Balling out. Another guy in my risers column for ESPN. 7 of 16, 4 triples, 23 points, 5 dimes. No goodies, but he did hit 4 triples. I'll take the points and the triples from Malik Monk. I don't need him to steal and block. But what you got for this one?
Well, that's good, Doc, because Malik Monk doesn't steal and block, right? So that fits in very well with your expectations for him. So I'll piggyback on Monk here to start. He's 59% rostered in Yahoo leagues. He should be 92% rostered in Yahoo leagues right now. Guys, he's starting and kicking ass. And he is putting up comparable stat lines, if not on some nights better stat lines than De'Aaron Fox. If you care about this thing called fantasy basketball, and obviously you do if you're staying up late watching us, go get him, okay? Don't leave him on waivers out there. He's not a streamer right now, guys. Malik Monk is a pickup. Put him on your roster, and every other day he's going to be, in your lineup. He's that good right now, okay? 59% rostered in Yahoo leagues. And, Doc, I want to shout out the Memphis Grizzlies. They're 15-8. The best coach that nobody talks about is Taylor Jenkins. He's not the best coach. He's the best coach that nobody talks about. Doc, nobody talks about Taylor Jenkins. He's phenomenal. Okay, he always gets more out of less. Last year, they sucked, right? They didn't have anybody. They had third stringers and G leaguers, all right? But, Doc, the reason why Memphis won this game tonight was that Ja Morant sucked tonight, okay? And Desmond Bane had another, 18, 7, and 5, whatever it was. I mean, Doc last night was saying, where's Bane? We still didn't get a big Bane game. But you got, and by the way, tonight's game amplifies the secret sauce for Memphis, which is their bench. And it makes the point that they have arguably, Doc, the best bench in the NBA. Note what I said. I didn't say they have the best bench. They have one of the best benches in the NBA. Scottie Pippen Jr. is a backup point guard. He is right there for the best backup point guard in the game. Marcus Smart is your backup two guard. Winning Jake LaRavia, Doc's guy. He had 12 points tonight. Smart, by the way, had 18 points tonight. Jay Huff had 11 points with goodies tonight. He's a jumping jack big. And then you had Santi Aldama with 15 points tonight, okay? That's all off the bench.
10 boards, 3 steals for Aldama. Yeah.
That's all off the bench, okay? Dude, that is an extraordinary bench because Huff, trust me, dude, I think they signed him to a two-way in the offseason. I'm like, and, I've got a roster spreadsheet that I have. So I put him in there. It's Jay Huff. I don't know who the F Jay Huff is, but I put him on the team, right? And then you see him in the preseason. You see him and like, the guy can play. He's a good big in this league. He's not as skilled and versatile as Aldama, right? He's like, a lob threat, a rim runner, a shot blocker, but I'm not trying to diminish what he's doing. But anyway, Doc, you got, let's see, 30, 45, 56 freaking points from these 4 guys off their bench. And their starting lineup is very, very good too. But Doc, that's the secret sauce of the surprisingly 15-8 Memphis Grizzlies is their bench. And, Aldama clearly is rosterable. He has great lines every night. And I would put Smart is a guy that I'm still holding on to, Doc. I got a Marcus Smart thing. Pippen, I think I'm holding on to him, especially if I have John Morant. To me, I look at Huff and I look at LaRavia as streamers.
Jay Huff is like the white Granville Waiters. That's what I think. So John Morant 2-11, that was rough. LaRavia, I think, is worth rostering personally. Let's talk about De'Aaron Fox. He loves me. He loves me not. He loves me. He loves me not. Right? 8 of 23 shooting. He loves me not. Like, that's terrible. 0 of 7 downtown. He loves me not. There's 2 petals off the flower gone. 6 rebounds. I don't really care. Maybe that's no petals. 3 assists. There's another one. He loves me not. Gone. But he had 6 steals. And he played 38 minutes. But they lost. Like, Malik Monk might be better than De'Aaron Fox right now. And that feels really weird to say. Think that is the DeMar DeRozan effect. Like, I don't know, man. DeMar is not helping De'Aaron Fox's game right now.
Doc, the elephant in the room is De'Aaron Fox's contract. Over the summer, he did not sign a long-term max extension with the Sacramento Kings. Despite them getting DeMar DeRozan, despite them bringing back his buddy Malik Monk. And now it's not working, and they're losing, and his stats are suffering. Like, this is heading in a dramatic direction, potentially, for the Sacramento Kings, because they needed, and De'Aaron Fox is going to get maxed out no matter what. But the Kings needed, like, a really kick-ass year and all of those moves to work to help convince De'Aaron Fox to sign a long-term extension. So just wanted to bring that up. I know that's reality, but I think it's a really important subject that's kind of on the back burner right now, Doc, but it's brewing. I mean, if you know hoops, you know that De'Aaron Fox is going to be basically in a maybe get me out of here situation at the end of the year.
Yes, sir. That's a great point. All right, we're moving on to New Orleans Pelicans versus the Phoenix Suns in New Orleans. The Pelicans pull it out in one of the games of the night, 126-124. Brandon Ingram went off for 29. Herb Jones is back, baby. 12.7 boards, 5 assists, 4 steals, a block, 2 threes. Like, that's fantasy goodies. That's what he does. He's Messi. Played through an injury, 9 points, 12 boards. CJ McCollum, 25 and 6 assists. And then you got DeJounte Murray. 17 points, 5 boards, 3 assists, 2 steals. There's nothing wrong with that. But I'm looking for DeJounte Murray to pop, and he has not been popping. Been one of the coldest players in the league for the last 2 weeks. He's another guy on my followers list. Not playing that great. And then Trey Murphy demoted to the bench with the return of Herb. So Trey Murphy did great. 19 points, 3 threes, 2 assists, 2 boards. Not bad. Not bad for coming off the bench. Maybe he'll be okay there. Thoughts on the Pelicans?
So, Doc, for the Pelicans, Herb Jones, dude. Herb Jones. Like we talked about this. He's going to start Herb Jones and Trey Murphy's going to come off the bench because that's how Willie Green rocks with these guys. But you mentioned it, the goodie line from Herb Jones. He is a spectacular source of fantasy gold. Obviously, he's not on waivers. You know, we're just kind of admiring his stat line that we have to follow moving forward. We have, I forget what night it was, but when we were talking about Kevin Durant being out, okay, Royce O'Neal or Grayson Allen, who's going to be the better fantasy guy? Who would you rather have? I said Grayson Allen, and you said Royce O'Neal. Check out these stat lines tonight, Doc, because the debate has gathered some momentum. Your guy, Royce O'Neal, 19-7-2, 19-7-2, 5 threes.
5 3.
Okay. Yeah. Fat stat line. Okay. And then you have my guy, Grayson Allen, 13 points, 6 rebounds, 10 assists, and 3 threes. So both of them absolutely killed it. I'd rather have Royce O'Neal, Doc, at this point. He started, okay? Like, I'll always take the starter. There's going to be more minutes and all that kind of stuff. But I'm hanging in there with Grayson Allen here against Royce O'Neal, dude. But look, Durant being out is going to sort of breathe life and value into Grayson Allen. I think in this line tonight proves it. I think Grayson Allen's going to be a dude again. And I want to give a big shout out to Eve Meese. As you mentioned his stat line, but for playing tonight, he had a right ankle injury. He was questionable. Let's go, young fella. Stay on the wood. Make them steal your shoes from you to keep you out of that game. I always like to see guys play through that questionable tag, and he did, and we got to honor that.
Grayson Allen played 30 minutes off the bench. Royce O'Neal played 28. But, I mean, at this point, with no Kevin Durant, you want both those guys. Whichever one's available on your waiver wire, take them. And if it's me picking, I'm taking Royce O'Neal. And I guess Rick is now too. But if the best you can do is Grayson Allen, I think you're going to be okay. All right. Let's move on. What do we got next? Chicago. The Bulls go to San Antonio and face the Wemby-less San Antonio Spurs. Pick up a 15-point road win. The Bulls are 10-13. Spurs are 11-11. Nikola Vucevic, 39 points, 8 boards, 5 assists, a steal on 2 threes. Come on, dude. Ayo Dosunmu. Oh, by the way, Andre told me 2 things while we were getting you all queued up and locked into your new set, your new surroundings for this podcast. He told me that the good news for me was that Ayo Dosunmu had a triple-double and kept him in the game, kept Andre in the game against me in our Sports Ethos Fantasy League. I'm like, well, that's not good news. Like, good news is if you're going to give me a pay raise and I'm going to make more money. Like, you kicking my ass because Dosunmu had a triple-double is not good news. He also told me that you and I tied in our O'Neal, Grayson Allen war, if you want to call it that. But Vooch went crazy. Dosunmu had 27, 10, and 11. Buried Josh Giddey, who really didn't do much without Kobe White. That's kind of a headline, newsflash. And then your guy, Matas Buzelis, 11.7 boards, 2 threes. Like, he just keeps on keeping on quietly. It's like floating under the radar.
He's creeping like a creeper, Doc. All he needs is an injury to get in that starting five, and the rest is going to be history to me. But Billy's not just going to give it to him. But you mentioned his stat line tonight. He's percolating. Okay, like I've said, he's not a guy that's screaming, "Pick me up, pick me up." You don't have to run to get him. You don't even have to go get him. Keep your eye on him. Be aware of him, and be ready to pounce when if something happens here. But because dude, he gives you blocks, he gives you threes, and it's a big. That's obviously a rare situation. Shout out to Io, man, 27, 10, and 11. That was cool to see. But Doc Sohan, Jeremy Sohan started for Victor Wembanyama tonight. He had 16 points, 14 rebounds. He had a steal, did not make a three. And really what this was a stay of demotion. I don't want to say stay of execution. It's just like, but a stay of demotion for Harry Barnes. Harry Barnes got to keep a spot in that starting five tonight, Doc, because Wemby was out and Sohan went in for him. Vassell is still coming off the bench. Keldon Johnson is still coming off the bench. But it was a stay of demotion for our guy, man. But Sohan's look good, dude. Sohan picked up right where he left off. He's been absolutely fantastic this year, Doc. He's taken this game to another level.
Yeah, but he doesn't look as good as Tobias Harris yet. Tobias Harris is banging threes, putting them numbers. What's up with Zach Collins coming off the bench when Wemby's out? Like that should be. I said that was like death and taxes. Automatic Zach Collins. Although he did come through with a decent line. 9 points, 4 boards, 3 assists, a steal, 2 blocks, and a 3. So at least Zach Collins got it done in 23 minutes. But your guy, Keldon Johnson, 28 minutes, 28 points, 11 to 17. Not a lot else, but he doesn't do a lot else. But Harry Barnes, it's time for Harry B to go. I mean, we got Zach Collins coming off the bench, Keldon Johnson coming off the bench, Devin Vassell coming off the bench.
Let me interject here. Let me bounce the thought.
Be out there.
Let me bounce this thought off you. Do you think they promised? Well, God, they got him in a trade. Because I was going to say, did they promise Harry Barnes a starting spot? It's a no. Like, why would they? They traded for Harrison Barnes. I don't know why they traded for Harrison Barnes. They should have gone to get. I wanted them to go get DeMar DeRozan. Like, can you imagine how sexy the Spurs would be with DeMar DeRozan right now with Wemby and all these guys? My God. They were involved in the trade with DeRozan, but got the wrong friggin' guy. They got Harrison Barnes. But it's not a promise or a guarantee, but obviously it's the vet, it's the trust. But for whatever reason, they feel like they got to start Harry Barnes, man. And Harry Barnes, Doc, tell him he is in the way right now.
He's in the way. Harry B is in the way. And it just is what it is. Rick, we only got one game left. Like we cruised through this thing because I cannot talk for long periods of time. So I'm just moving us right along. Like we are on a record pace for Sports Ethos basketball podcast because we usually go over an hour. I'm not calling you long-winded. Where did Rick go? Is Rick still here? Let's look at this Rockets game. The Rockets and Warriors. The Rockets win.
Here I am. Yo.
Okay, welcome back. I'm glad you're here. The Rockets win.
I never went anywhere.
Into Houston. I mean, Rockets went into Golden State. Into Oakland, rather. And lost 99-93, despite Steve Kerr's crazy rotation. I haven't really had a chance to look at this box score yet. Jonathan Kuminga, career high, 33 points.
That's why I go away. I'm looking at the box score. That's why I kind of go away. So don't. You know what I mean? That's why it's weird. That's why the video goes away. All right, keep talking. Sorry, bro.
So Kuminga, 33.6 boards, career high, 3 triples. Andrew Wiggins, he's been pretty good this year, 23-9. Oh, look, our guy, your guy, Buddy Hield, gets into the starting lineup with all the injuries. 1 of 8, 5 points, 5 boards. 2 assists, 1 3, nothing else. Gross. Gross. The only thing more gross than that was Brandon Pajemski playing 37 minutes and he had 2 of 9 shots, scoring 8 points. His over-under was 10.5. Thanks, Brandon. He didn't shoot it when he had open shots. And then when he did shoot it, he was throwing up bricks. It was annoying. Your guy, Trace Jackson Davis, 6 points, 0 boards, 2 dimes. What is that? I don't even know. I can't really wrap my head around how Golden State won this game, except that I guess Kuminga just made it happen with his career night.
So I am back, and Doc, you're right about all that, man. You are. I'm proud of Fred VanVleet. He played through a right knee injury tonight. He didn't play great, but again, he played through a questionable tag, so I want to shout him out. Steve Kerr said, by the way, Steph Curry missed this game tonight, and it was a rest game. The word is from Steve Kerr that Steph Curry is expected to play on Friday. I believe that's against Minnesota. I have it right here, and it is Minnesota at Golden State. So it's a rest game. It's load management. I mean, it's annoying. It's all that stuff, but that's what it is. It's not like, oh, my God, Steph's hurt. That's a rest game. So just know that. And when he comes back, Poja, I think, is going to stay in the starting 5. What was he, 2 of 9 tonight, Doc? He did not shoot well, but he did have some goodies out there. But overall, it wasn't a great game from Brandon Pajemski. Buddy Hield stunk. And, Doc, I mean, he so blistering at the top of the season, and it's not happening right now. And then Draymond Green, Doc, with a left calf injury, had the MRI. He missed, of course, the game tonight. The MRI revealed no damage. So that's really good news right there. I don't know how long he'll miss. And obviously, I don't think we can anticipate a Trace Jackson Davis pop. I don't. Steve Kerr. Dude, Jonathan Kuminga should have done the Kirk Cousins to Steve Kerr after tonight's game and go, you like that? You like that? You know what I mean? Like, he should just talk some ish right in Steve Kerr's face right now. Bro, why don't you play me, bro? Get me on the court, man. I mean, Kuminga was absolutely sensational tonight, man. And I don't know. I think every bucket Kuminga scores and every ooh and ah and every developmental progression you can see, it's like Steve Kerr, man. Steve Kerr. This all could have been happening a year or two ago.
I was hoping for a little bit more out of Amen Thompson with no Tari Eason, but he had 14 points, 8 boards, 2 threes. I mean, and a block. I don't hate it. I love Amen Thompson. He should be rostered everywhere. Alpi Şengün, kind of quiet for going up against this team. Like, if Alpi Şengün was going to, light a team up, I thought it was going to be this one. But no, he'd rather play against Rudy Gobert, defensive player of all time, whatever. He'd rather see them than run with the Warriors. I got 3 things here. Jalen Green, with a banged-up Fred VanVleet in the lineup, hits 4 of 16 shots, scores 14 points. He did have 4 steals. Jalen Green looked like the guy early, and he just doesn't look that way anymore. Secondly, Fred VanVleet, you mentioned it. He played through the injury. You said you were proud of him. I think you and I get more fired up when guys play through injuries than when they put up good stat lines. It's like, this dude went out there and played. Like, he's doing it. Like, that means more to me than somebody going out there and balling out, because guys get hurt and they're just like, nope, not playing. Jimmy Butler, three games off. I'm done. So props to Fred VanVleet. And then Jabari Smith, 2 of 8, 5 points. Dude, come on. Like, what are we doing? Like, Jabari Smith needs to be demoted, and we need Amen and more. We need more Amen and more Tari Eason.
I don't disagree, dude. I don't. I like the breakdown. What can I say, man? What can I say? Jabari Smith is he's like the roller coaster at Busch Gardens, Doc. I mean, it is a bumpy ride, bro. It's like there's good days, there's bad days. There's days you're like, yes, I'm happy I am rostering him. There's other days you're like, bro, I'm so gonna waiver wire you. It's frustrating, dude. He's got us on the performance yo-yo for sure.
All right. I think that might be a wrap, dude. We're gonna be back on Monday, you and I, around midnight, around 11:30, around 11:45. We are going to answer questions in that show. A lot of them, hopefully. If you guys send them, we're going to answer them. Because you and I love answering questions. Like when somebody asks a great question where you have to like think about it, it's fun. So we're going to be answering questions. Brewski, who I have not been on a podcast with in a while, and I are going to be here tomorrow at 12:30 on Friday afternoon. And then, other than that, this podcast was brought to you by Bet Online. Shout out to Bet Online. We love them. Rick, do you have any final thoughts?
I love Bet Online too. But I'm in Florida, so I can't. I can't. There's only one outlet you can do legalized sports betting down here in Florida, But I love Bet Online. And I wish I could dive into their pool. But Doc, it's been a good week, man. It's been a great week. A lot of cool hoops. I like the rhythm that we're getting into, man. Right? Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Get used to it, folks. We're here for you, like he said, around 11:30. Midnight. So check us out, man. But we got more podcasts coming. We'll be back on Monday. And Doc, I don't have any more painting to do. I think I got all the painting done today on the house that we are. It's going on the market like on Wednesday or something like that. So your boy's in chore mode over here.
The bottom line,
as you can see, look at all this going. I mean, it's just my life. My life is plates being juggled in the air right now. They're all literally being juggled in the air right now, but it's okay.
Well, good luck with the move, brother. The bottom line is when the games end on Monday night, Tuesday night, Wednesday night, Thursday night, when the games are over, you basically have two choices. You can go check out Worldwide Wob, who I freaking love, or you can come see us. Either one. And we're going to break it all down. He's not going to break down fantasy stuff like we are, but come see us. We'll be here when the games are over. And I'll see y'all tomorrow around 12:30. We're out. Peace.